Hello, folks. You ever have that fantasy that you're walking down the road and you just find a box of free records? Well, a lot of it is fantasy because you're not going to find Amon Düül or Ashrod Temple or David Bowie. You're going to find maybe a couple of cool things, but for the most part, you're going to find a lot of junk that you're not going to listen to. Anyway, this weekend, my nephew, Austin, who is very awesome, he did some dumpster diving, and he came up with a box of, or a little crate of albums, and he brought them to the house because he knows his Uncle Mike likes vinyl. So, I did find a few things in here that I like, but let's just go on this journey together of the fantasy of finding a free box of records on the side of the road. This is probably a good sample of what you're going to find. So let's start here. Just a Melody. Young Holt Unlimited. I don't know who these guys are. Jazz-oriented. The cover is pretty well shot, but it looks cool. I'll probably give that a listen. Billy Crash Craddock. I've heard of him. But, I mean, the album is in a shrink wrap. The album looks like it's never been played, so either I got a really good deal or a very crappy album that nobody wants to listen to. Rhythms of the World, Van McCoy. You know, I listened to a little bit of this, and it's kind of a disco-y soul type thing. Best of Bloopers. And this one's not that good. I think it's more of a comedy album, and it seems like all the bloopers are staged. So, Steve Winwood, welcome to the canteen. I had never heard of this one before, but there's a nice 10-minute version of Dear Mr. Fantasy. Eric Burden of the Animals, Winds of Change. I do dig this album cover, man. I really do. But I cleaned this, and it sounds bad. I'll probably give it another listen. Art Blakely and the Afro Drum Ensemble. That's what we're listening to now. This is on Blue Note. Very good. The Electric Prunes. Awesome. Rolling Stones. The surprise about this one, this is more hot rock. So they had hot rocks, was like their best stuff, and this is, I guess this goes a little deeper. Was both of the albums weren't in here. There was one Hot Rocks album, and the other one is Zeppelin 2. Yes, there's a couple of deep scratches you might see, but it plays good. I think that we talk about this a lot on the forums, YouTube, people talk about this. The vinyl that was made in the 60s and the 70s is, I don't want to say indestructible, but you could pretty much slide it across a granite floor and still play it and only come up with a couple of nicks in it. The stuff today, you pull right out of the paper and you have a skip. Head East. I think they could have been a bigger band, but they just, I don't know, they look kind of cheesy. I lost a bet one time. Someone said, I bet in 5 minutes you can't tell me who sings the song. And they played the song for me, and I did not know. I didn't even know who Head East was. But I heard the song my whole life, and it was Never Been Any Reason, which is a great rock pop song. Traffic, John Barleycorn Must Die. I always wanted this one, and it did clean up nicely and sounds good. Now let's get into the reality of what you're really going to find on the side of the road. It's junk people don't want. But if anybody out there wants any of this, let me know. Or if any of this is like a gem, let me know. So I'll just go through these really quick. Christmas albums, Percy Faith, some Eddie Arnold, more Eddie Arnold, Steve Lawrence, piano stuff, I might listen to that. Floyd Kramer, Alfie, Count Basie. I've always heard of him but never listened. So it's music composed by Count Basie. So I'm not sure if he plays on it or not, but it's BB King's on this as well. So I will give this one a spin. Andy Williams. She Was Pretty for the Day. I'm not sure who Julie London is. A lot of these are shot. The album covers are just, it's probably been in an attic or a, I like the Kingston Trio, attic or a basement someplace. So this is kind of the reality. I mean, you just find a lot of stuff that you're not going to listen to. Out of all these, 2, maybe 3 at the most will probably end up in my collection. And then I'll probably just get rid of the rest. I like Don Williams. Don Williams is cool. He's a country guy, but he has some really good songs. When I was a kid, we lived in the country, and so we listened to a lot of country rock music. Pretty. I don't know who she is. Stella Parton? Probably won't listen to it, but nice album cover. Doodlin'. Now this might be kind of cool. Looks like he's got a saxophone there. So I could at least put it on. Anyway, the Kindles, Debbie Boone. Any kid from the 70s will remember that song, You Light Up My Life. Justin Wilson and Foster Brooks, who I don't know who it is, but it's pretty much the reality of finding a box of records on the side of the road. You'll find a couple that you like, and you really got to clean them real good. I put several of these through the spin clean, and the water was just brown when I was finished with it. So that's all for our fantasy